Hey, it's Bey, and today I'm going to be reviewing the PowerA wireless GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch. Many people have been saying that the GameCube controller is the best controller for playing Smash because of the design. PowerA recently released a wireless version of the GameCube controller and it's officially licensed. Is this the best controller for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Let's find out. Oh yeah. They also make a wired GameCube controller version that's cheaper if you like wired for less latency or for the cheaper price. I'll put links to both controllers in the description if you're interested. This controller retails for $50, which is a bit pricey if you're on a budget, but it's still cheaper than the Pro controller that Nintendo sells. This controller currently comes in black, gray, silver, gold, and purple. I got the purple one of course because I love the color purple. In the box, they provide you with 2 AA batteries that'll get you started right away, and I appreciate that very much. The battery life that you can get with this controller is up to 30 hours with a pair of AA batteries. This controller connects to the Switch using Bluetooth 5.0 and the pairing process is the exact same with any Joy-Con or Pro controller. You go in the controller menu on the Switch, hit the sync button on the controller, and you should be good to go. The layout is pretty much the same as the original GameCube controller except for a few things. On the top you have the sync button and on the middle you have the plus, minus, screen capture, and home buttons. You also have the 4 LEDs to indicate your player number. There is also an extra ZL button that wasn't there before on the original. Also, the triggers are now the Z buttons and the shoulder buttons are the L and R. The analog stick and C stick click down to support games that have that feature. The D-pad is larger, which isn't much more useful in Smash Ultimate because you don't really use the D-pad unless you want to taunt. So if you want to taunt more accurately, you can do this with this controller. But in all seriousness, the larger D-pad is a plus because it helps in games that use the D-pad. Get it? Because the D-pad is a plus shape? Never mind. This controller also includes motion controls, which means that you can still use it on games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You pretty much get the same functionality as the Pro controller, which is great. The controller feels really nice in the hand. If you've never held the original GameCube controller, you're missing out. Buy this wireless controller immediately and see how good it feels. My hands rest really nicely on the controller. My left thumb sits nicely on the left thumbstick while my right thumb rests on the A button, which is the perfect place because you can easily access your other buttons. My index fingers rest comfortably on the triggers and the rest of my fingers fit nicely around the handles. The triggers are a bit smaller on this wireless controller compared to the original GameCube controller, but that isn't anything to be worried about. If you have larger hands, I feel like this controller would feel a little small, but I don't think that it's a big deal to be honest. This controller is still really comfortable overall. There is no real downside in my opinion, but one thing that I would change about this controller are the batteries. This controller would be perfect in my opinion if it had a rechargeable battery and if you could charge it with a USB-C cable like the Pro controller and Nintendo Switch. I'd imagine for the price to rise if they did include a rechargeable battery with USB-C, so I understand why they went with the AA battery option. But at least they provide you with a pair of AA batteries to get you started. So you're planning to get a GameCube controller, but you're wondering if you should get the wireless version or the wired USB version. Well, I'd go with the wireless version hands down if you have the money. If you don't, then the wired version is still there for you. That's the biggest difference in my opinion, besides one controller being wireless and the other one wired obviously. Also, you can use the wireless controller while the Switch is out of the dock. To be honest, I haven't tried the wired version yet, but I don't think the latency should be much different or even noticeable at all. If you're worried about latency, you should get the wired version. But overall, I believe the wireless version is the way to go. Overall, I'm really glad that there is a wireless version of the GameCube controller. I've never held a GameCube controller in a long time, but I would say that this wireless GameCube controller feels really similar to the original Nintendo one. It doesn't feel exactly the same, but it's close enough in my books. I highly recommend this controller if you love the Nintendo GameCube controller or if you want a controller to play Smash Ultimate or any game for that matter. As always, I'll leave some links in the description if you're interested. Now all they need to do is remake Super Mario Sunshine on the Switch and I'd be back in my childhood. That was my review of the PowerA wireless GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch. If you found this video useful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get a notification every time I upload. Also, visit my social media links in the description and follow me there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!